Look, man, I'll tell you one thing. If you want more out of life, expect to be stretched. I'm telling you, there's no way around that. Expect to be tested. Expect to go through trials and tribulations. Expect for things to be way harder than you think they're going to be. I'm telling you, these past year and a few months of my life been like, it's been back-to-back trials and tribulations and setbacks, but also blessings and lessons. And I'm really learning as I go. So for me, it's been, for example, I started a rental car business through Turo, right? So it started off phenomenal. I figured out how to finance more than one car. I got up to 4 cars. Things was going great. They was making money. They paying their own car notes. I really didn't have to put any. I spent like probably $9,000 on down payments, and that was it. Then I made last year, like, I profited $15,000. So I made 30. Turo took half. So I made 15, and then I gotta pay taxes out of the 15. So it started off great, right? Fully booked. I started in last year. I want to say April or May. It started building gradually. It was cars constantly booked. Then a few months in, it was going so good. I was just spending money. I was just having a ball, right? And I didn't prepare for maintenance or any type of setbacks. So later on, last year, I think the first thing that happened was one of the cars, the catalytic converter got stolen. When that and I didn't report it right away to insurance. I don't know why. I just was afraid for some reason. I didn't want any negative reports on the insurance through Turo. Even though it happened during Turo, they would have covered it fully. I didn't know at the time. I was skeptical about it. So the car was just sitting there and it wasn't being rented. So it wasn't making me money, but it was costing me money. And that car note was, to be fully transparent, that car note was $750. That was the last car I financed. And by that time, because I had so many cars and my credit, like the amount of credit I took out, they only could give me a bad deal, like a bad interest rate and a high ass car note. So it was sitting there costing me $750 a month plus insurance, and it wasn't being rented. So it's just, now it's a liability. So I stopped paying that shit. I did file through my insurance for the catalytic converter, but the part was on back order for another 3 months. So the car was just sitting there not getting paid. So eventually it got repossessed. So I lost, like, bad. And that trickled down into my income. I lost income doing that. So then the other cars, things slowed down during the winter a little bit. I had trouble paying them. So now I'm 3 months behind on all my cars. I was 3 months behind on all my cars. So things slowed down, and I didn't prepare for it. I had been spending money up to that point because things was going so good. I had just been spending money and didn't put nothing away to prepare for any type of emergencies. I was just cashing out, thinking it's gonna last forever, right? So what else happened? One of the cars got totaled. I totaled it. I hit a deer. So that car got totaled. Cashed out, They cashed me out, paid off the note. I financed another car with the same bank. They gave me that car. So at first I was renting that one out. Then I decided to do Uber with that one because that was the next highest car note, which is like $530, and that's, you can make that a couple days doing Uber. So it made more sense for me to do Uber instead of renting it out. So eventually I got further and further behind. Now all the cars is up. They looking for them cars, repossessed. They trying to repossess them. So I'm behind on everything, and it's just like, at that point, everything I made, I owe. So it was just like drowning. And being me being stubborn, I wasn't asking for help. I would not ask for help. Like, it was my ego. And my aunt would always say, you wait till the house is on fire for you to ask for a cup of water. I'm like, man, she right. But I'm not trying to hear that shit. I wasn't trying to hear it at all. So eventually I asked for help. Once that the other car that I financed again, that one got repossessed, and there was no way around asking for help. So eventually I asked for help. One of my aunts was able to help me out. Now I owe her. She's the bank now. So that kind of got me back on track and got the car back. What else happened? And one of the other cars had a safety recall, so Turo took it off the platform, and it wasn't able to be rented. So when I went to get the safety recall fixed, the dealership didn't have the part yet, and it turns out that they issued the safety recall 3 months before the dealership had the parts. So the car had to sit. It wasn't being rented, and that was costing me money again. Because it's not being rented, it's just sitting there. I'm like, well, I'm not paying a car note because I'm not making no money on it. It didn't make sense to me. That was irresponsible. I should have just been, paying it. That's the right way to do it. So that car was up for repossession a couple days ago. That one, I parked it off blocks away from my house. Eventually they found it, got it repossessed. This time I had the money though, so I paid them, went and got it. Now everything's back current, and I'm finally getting back on track. I put a plan in place that's going to allow me to take that money that I'm making, and I got to reinvest it right away and just keep buying assets until eventually it's like there's no setback that can set me back anymore. And that wasn't my plan from the gate. I was just freestyling. So it's definitely been ups and downs, and some of the things I learned was handle your problems right away. If something comes up, if you need to call your insurance, if you need to get something fixed, like you riding on a tire that has a nail in it, you just keep adding air. You got to get it plugged or get a new tire. I mean, the best thing to do is just handle it right away, immediately. So that's one of the things I learned. It saves you so much stress, and it keeps things from getting worse. So that's one of the main takeaways I took away from that. Also, allocating your funds, separate your money. Because with me, I'll just swipe the card, whatever. I want this, I want them, I want what I want. That's one thing about me. I want what I want. And alright, I'm gonna swipe the card. And it's like, not keeping track of the money is what got me in that hole. So I learned to separate my funds and really pay attention to the accounts. So yeah, that was one thing that stretched me, tested me, and stressed me the hell out, like bad. So many times I wanted to give up, but I have a vision for this business, and it's like I could go back to just being, just keep the life that I had. Just be regular. That's not what I want. The vision I have for my life is going to cost me the old version of myself. So I had to be stretched. I had to be pushed. I had to go through some things. And although it was stressful at the time, I understand now that it was necessary. It was super necessary. So I say all that to say, if you want more out of life, expect to be stretched. Expect to be pushed. Expect to go through trials and tribulations, and eventually, if you stand 10 toes down, you'll be able to handle those things easily. You know, to get to that next level, it's going to be like, look at me. A year ago, I couldn't even handle these problems. Now, there's no sweat. I learned to ask for help when I need it. If I know I'm going to need help, ask for help. Like, don't wait till the situation you're in dire need of help. Because now you're making your emergencies everybody else's emergencies. And everybody ain't got time for it. And everybody can't be readily available. Everybody can't be readily available. People got their own lives. And you got to be mindful of that. So yeah, once again, if you want more out of life, expect to be stretched. Expect to be tested. Expect to be pushed. That's all.